Melly's witness tampering case was officially dropped by the state yesterday, and that sent shockwaves all throughout YouTube, especially in the Melly section. Some people are saying that this is a win for the defense team and that, the gang enhancement never made sense. They saying the state did a poor job, and you already seeing the free Melly hashtags in full effect everywhere. That's your thing, rock out. If that's how you feel, that's the campaign that you support, cool, to each his own. But I want to ask you something. Do you really believe that the state just threw this case out for no reason at all? Like, no long-term thinking, no strategy, no connection to what's next to come in this murder trial. Do you really believe that? I'm asking you that. Because in my video yesterday, before the details even dropped, I said that the state did all this because the defense was calling Mariah Hamilton to testify. And by doing that, that threw a wrench in the game. That was going to mess the state up completely. And I was right. According to court documents, prosecutor Alexandra Bucklew released a 5-page statement explaining the facts behind why this case was dropped. And we about to read that together. Before we do that, if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. It's T-RaeTv, and over here, I don't give no lies and spin narratives. I just say what I feel. Let's go. So I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to read the main parts. On the first page right here, this is basically just showing you who it's to and who it's from. It's to Harold F. Pryor, the state attorney, from Alexandra Bucklew, assistant state attorney, homicide trial unit, date January 20th, 2026. The defendant, Jamel Demons. It explained all the charges that were dropped: tampering with a witness in a capital felony, directing the criminal activities of a street gang, solicitation to commit tampering, conspiracy to commit tampering. All right, right here where it says facts, that's basically just going over all the charges that I just read at the top, let you know what they were, and is explaining that Melly was charged with first-degree murder with a firearm under what case number. But this is the paragraph that I want to pay attention to right up under that one. The above captioned charges arose during the defendant's homicide trial that took place between April 10th, 2023 through January 22nd, 2023. Mariah Hamilton was listed as a witness for the state of Florida as of April 9th, 2019. All right, now let's go to page 2. And right here, the topic is basically explaining how they agreed to not expose Mariah Hamilton's address publicly and stuff like that. And I want y'all to pay attention right here where it says efforts were made to contact Ms. Hamilton, including phone calls not only to her, but to her mother and her attorney, as well as having an investigator from the 18th Judicial Circuit State Attorney's Office attempt to serve her for both deposition and trial. The Honorable Judge Andrew Siegel signed an order to show cause, and on February 23rd, 2022, signed a certificate to procure a witness for Ms. Hamilton. Ms. Hamilton never appeared for a deposition nor for trial. This certificate to procure Mariah Hamilton remained active from February 23rd, 2022 until January 26th of 2025, when she was finally caught by Border Patrol coming back from El Salvador. You hear bloggers saying Melly reached out to Mariah after the first trial was already over. That's an absolute lie. Mariah and her mother, Felicia Holmes, did an interview with Law and Crime in 2023, and that interview dropped September 15th, 2023 on Law and Crime page. Now ask yourself, you really think she wasn't communicating with anybody connected to Melly during this time? And I want y'all to keep listening to this stuff because it's gonna get even crazy. And remember, these are the facts in the case. Felicia testified that she never received letters or was contacted from the court at all.
You made me come here.
I did.
Yes, you did.
And in terms of, you were served with a subpoena.
You never served me.
And so you were ordered by the court to show up.
You never served me originally. That was a lie.
And in terms of...
But the state laid out 3 different ways they contacted both her and Mariah. Neither responded. They both were just uncooperative at the time when they say they was trying to get in touch with these people and get them to come to court and a follow-up on the deposition. And Felicia ended up getting arrested out the country. And at that point, you really just didn't have no choice but to show up. Mariah didn't get picked up until January of 2025, and she was basically on the run. And I want to say this real quick. Whoever commented under my video saying that they was Mariah's father, I just want you to prove it. And hit me up on Instagram. We can go live, we can chop it up because I got a few questions I'd like to ask you, and I'm sure the people do too. So if that was you in the comments on my video yesterday, just hit me up on Instagram. When you hear people say these calls weren't made during trial, again, that's an absolute lie. That's false. The calls happened between March and August of 2023. Melly's trial ran from April till July of that same year. So this would be in between while he was on trial. And I feel like this part right here is the part where people kind of skip over a little bit because Danny Polo wasn't even checking for Melly at first when he was on these jail calls and stuff, listening in to these people. He wasn't checking for Melly. He was monitoring jail calls for a whole complete different case. What they call a statewide prosecution case. Google what that means. I just want y'all to Google what that means because Danny Polo was listening to James Howard calls because he was under investigation at the time for some way deeper than what Melly got going on. So this dude was just doing his job, and next thing you know, he hear Melly passing messages through Howard, or Howard passing messages for Melly on the phone and communicating in code, trying to get things through to him with people outside the wall. Paragraph 2, page 2, where it talks about Danny Polo. Detective Danny Polo from Broward Sheriff's Office is a listed witness in the homicide case as well. In 2023, Detective Polo was investigating James Howard in an unrelated statewide prosecution case and would periodically listen to jail calls made by Mr. Howard as he was incarcerated at the Broward County Main Jail. Each inmate is assigned a particular number and PIN code to access the recorded and monitored jail system. Later, this dude, Danny Polo, realized, man, this James dude, this Howard dude, he under the same umbrella as Melly. The male Demons does not have phone privileges due to disciplinary actions while in custody. Detective Polo, while monitoring the calls of James Howard, heard discussions about Howard communicating with Mr. Demons and passing messages. Those phone call conversations then led Detective Polo requesting in August of 2023 Broward County Sheriff's Office Detention Communications Supervisor Kathleen Casey to provide any and all calls from James Howard for the previous 12 months, as well as outgoing to all the following numbers. And they got all the numbers and stuff right there. I ain't gonna read all that. Based upon a review of the calls, it was determined Mr. Howard was talking with numerous individuals connected to the defendant, including Cortland Henry, the defendant's co-defendant on the homicide case. These calls made it clear Mr. Howard was calling on behalf of the defendant. Further, when reviewing what PIN numbers made outgoing calls to these phone numbers provided, it was determined that inmate Terrence Mathis made more than 60 calls to Cortland Henry between March 23rd and August 2023. So, no, they wasn't targeting Melly with the jail calls, as you will hear people say, like other folks that talk about this Danny Polo dude, because this man just simply heard some stuff that he can work with. And like I said in my previous video, I believe they were looking for something bigger than what was going on with Melly. Melly just was stuck in the middle because of the murders of Sack and Juve and what he was doing. He ended up becoming a casualty of what was going on and made things hard for himself, if that makes sense, because that gang stuff is deep, what they was investigating. And this ain't even the cold part yet. Right here on page 3, this is the conversation that Terrence Mathis had over the phone with Bortland when he was talking in code. So it says on April 19, 2023, Terrence Mathis placed a phone call to 561-909-8905, Cortland Henry, and begins to relay messages after a few messages to individuals to thank them for showing up to support him in court. The following exchange occurs between Mr. Henry and Mr. Mathis. Tell you hit Rihanna, make sure she hood. Tell her keep vibing in the Maybach like she been doing. Don't pop out. This shit almost over with. I heard she supposed to be pulling up. Probably cap though, but tell her. Henry, man, no man. Tell him, man, shut the fuck up. Tell him to stop talking about that. Mathis, tell her fall back. I ain't put this wild ass shit. Fall back. Henry, man, I ain't talking about that no more. Move on to the next one. Mathis, hold on, I gotta read the whole card. I don't know what's what. Tell her keep doing what she's doing. Tell her I love her and miss her so much. I'm gonna eat her like some ice cream when I touch down. Just the most cringe shit. Man, that shit be pissing me off. During this call, while Mathis is trying to give directions to Cortland Henry about keeping Rihanna away from court, Henry is obviously uncomfortable and does not want those directions being given over the recorded call. Henry already knows his job of keeping her away from court, and there is no reason to continue to talk about it. Henry states, tell him Rihanna already vibing in the Maybach. I don't know where he be getting his information, but just tell him to vibe, though. Henry is telling Mathis to reassure Demons that everything is under control in reference to keeping her away from court. On April 24th, 2023, Mr. Demons, through third parties, again references Rihanna by calling her ASAP Rocky's baby mama. Popular recording artist Rihanna has been in a relationship with another recording known artist as ASAP Rocky. The conversation about Miss Hamilton again mentioned her and told Mr. Henry to make sure ASAP Rocky baby mama is in the Maybach and she stays that way. Pay attention to that date. This is a conversation between Terrence Mathis and Cortland Henry, whatever you want to call him. We already knew about the coded language and him calling Mariah ASAP Rocky baby mama or Rihanna or whatever like that. But everything I'm about to read to you next, this is all new to me, and it might be new to you, but man, check this out. The defendant's cell was searched along with Terrence Mathis and James Howard. The evidence was in the form of paper kites in which inmates passed back and forth as a form of communication. Pieces of paperwork kites were located in Demon's cell on September 22nd, 2023. Kites were located in Mathis' cell, and 8 kites were located in Howard's cell on September 1st, 2023. The investigating detectives were able to determine the following nicknames of the kites. Old School Zoe belongs to Demons, Nike Waves belong to James Howard, and Ye Baraka, however you say that, belongs to Terrence Mathis. These identifications were made based off context of the messages written in the kites as well as jail calls that were made on Demon's behalf. Search warrant was later conducted on Cortland's residence. Several devices were located, and one device belonging to Cortland Henry's girlfriend, Giovanna Molina. Miss Molina had Mariah Hamilton saved as a contact under the name Ree. There were numerous communications found between them. These conversations included discussing Miss Hamilton staying with Miss Molina and Mr. Henry during the trial period, as well as commentary about the trial as it aired live on YouTube. At one point, Hamilton acknowledges that she has an arrest warrant, quote, material witness warrant, out for not appearing. Additionally, Miss Hamilton asked Miss Molina if she has to fall off the grid again after the hung jury verdict, and Miss Molina says yes, she does. It's like reading that, the only thing you can do is just, shake your head. Because Mariah sat on Law and Crime and acted like she wasn't communicating with nobody. Which I feel like, that was she's supposed to say, lie, you ain't gonna tell the truth. But the whole time she was texting Borland's girlfriend, asking about the trial, asking if she could, should she go off the grid again and some more shit. That's crazy, man. But I can't necessarily just, be fully mad at her because when you give her the benefit of the doubt, it's like she young, she a female, and she got put in this position she never should have been in the first place to begin with, because hypothetically speaking, if Melly really did do this, telling your girlfriend and her mother, I feel like we're kind of like a whole move. Financial records were obtained for Mariah Hamilton, which shows she received $31,743.74 from 100K Management, LLC, the defendant's management company. $700 from Jamie King, and $947 from Adria Scott, the defendant's manager's wife. A specific $11,000 wire transfer from 100K management was sent to Ms. Hamilton with the memo stating from Melly. Additional detectives reviewed payments made to Auto Express Enterprise Incorporated from Mariah Hamilton via Jamie King, the defendant's mother. On October 26, 2020, Mariah Hamilton purchased a used 2015 Mercedes-Benz CLA Class Coupe. This is 2 years after Jamel Demons was arrested for the aforementioned homicide. This purchase was for the amount of $22,973 with a $1,000 down payment. Track gotta be one of the dumbest people, the dumbest managers I ever seen, bro. And that's why his interview to me with AK-47 about that phone, that interview really exposed Track. And the one that he did with 1090 Jake was, we all know, that was done for damage control. Because there ain't no way you was giving this girl that much money. Not hundreds, thousands. And I said it before, the state, what they doing right now, the reason why they brought up all these bank statements and they wanted to get in Mariah's phone and see, they was following the money because money don't lie. And there it is. 31,000 one time, 700, 900, 1,600. They co-signed on a Benz for this girl, tracking his wife, all under 100K Management LLC. And you notice you don't hear them mention that name no more. Everything now is remain solid. Ask yourself why. This wasn't this man's family. He wasn't kin to this lady. So, I mean, this girl. So, or this lady, because her mama was involved to a certain degree too. Why would you give these people all this money? In closing, man, I'm glad the state dropped this witness tampering case, not because they didn't have enough evidence, but because this wasn't the time to really just show their full hand. They just, this is chess, man. This ain't chess. And with a defense attorney like Drew Finland, the state wasn't about to take no major loss on a side case tied to gang activity. This case is about Sac and Juvie. What led to the deaths of Sac and Juvie, what happened after the deaths of Sac and Juvie, and why these two boys were murdered. So the state just pretty much said, you know, we'll let y'all have this small win, but the real fight is on the way. So to all the people who think that this was a major W, a major win for Melly, in my personal opinion, this is how I feel. I ain't putting this off on nobody else. It was a small win for right now to just give his defense team more time, but this also give the state more time to work to and more time to cook. And I guarantee you, you're going to see that gang stuff again. You're going to see that gang stuff again. And part of me feel like you probably wouldn't see it again if he didn't get behind the wall and start using people that was already under investigation for other things. Like I said, the only thing you gotta do is Google what a statewide prosecution is and what they doing in Florida right now. By him communicating with them guys and this Danny Polo dude already listening to phone call, oh, you gang affiliated? However this dude started doing his homework, Danny Polo, through 1090 Jake, going on YouTube, whatever, he used the most credible source he can find. So don't blame him for going to the people with the most views, the most followers, or with the biggest voices on the internet, the biggest feet in this sector, and using them for information. What Danny Polo did, what people ain't realizing is he basically showed all YouTubers, all bloggers and content creators that what you say on your platform and what you do, it can be used in court. So all that, man, I'm just a blogger, I'm just a content creator, I'm just a YouTube, man, people be people before they get on this shit. Just like I'm somebody before I do this or whoever. Like, we all come from certain environment. We all know certain things. So if you get on here and you trying to get brownie points and prove yourself and prove your affiliation to your viewers and stuff like that because it's monetarily giving you revenue, if I said that right, I know I probably said that messed up. That's your fault. Let me know what y'all think, man. It ain't over with. I feel like this just to give everything more time. You get a defense more time, but the state got more time too. And what's crazy, see the defense, Drew Finley, he got to come in and it's like a cluster. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. They just got to throw everything on his desk and he got to go and study what's been just in the middle of everything that's been going on for like 8 or 9 years. Like you stepping in the midst of it and now you got to figure it out. Well, these people, the state, man, you think this Alexandra Bucklew lady ain't been studying this case or looking at this situation longer than she been on it? I say the only reason why things went left the first time, it wasn't because they lacked evidence. They gonna get hit with perjury, man. If come 2027, I'm talking about Felicia and her mom now, if they get called on the stand and get cross-examined or whatever, and they get on here and this lady just think that she gonna say the same stuff that she said in 2023 and 2027. And she ain't gonna be the only one. So I say like with Alexandra Bucklew, I feel like she kind of got a head start because she already know what they expect with the witnesses that's on the case, the people that took the stand in the past, the detectives. She already know what she dealing with what she working against when it comes to the people that's favoring Melly and stuff. So I don't think she gonna mess up, man. And if we can sit up here and look at this stuff with all of the things that they showed in the first trial and say, man, this dude did it. And it was before he even went to trial, it's like, man, I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. You think these people ain't going the extra mile this time and really doing their homework? I don't care whether he get found guilty or not, as far as him being convicted and like get the death penalty and stuff like that. I don't care that much. But if he did it, he deserved the ultimate consequences for his action. I won't be mad, happy, or whatever the fuck happened. It just is amazing to me just how you got all this stuff right here in front of you, and people can be consumers, people can be watchers, they can look at the trial, people can create content, and they be like, man, how the hell all these jurors, well, not all these jurors, because it was only like one that lured maybe like one or two more. And then with the phone, but then when Melly get charged with witness tampering, it's like, oh, now everything makes sense. This been a game this whole time. Trial is in 2027. We're gonna see how that's gonna turn out, because it's obvious right now, you know, everybody had they cameras ready and they lights on to go live and cover this. I was too. I ain't gonna lie. I was just interested to see how this was gonna turn out, but we all just got hit with the wham. Like, ain't no trial, bitch. We gotta wait a whole nother year, but you never know what might happen this year. I seen somebody yesterday was like, if he get offered a plea, he might as well take it at this point. I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. They ain't offered him now at this point. And I feel like if a person is facing life and the death penalty for capital murder, ain't nobody finna give you no bond on no shit like that. So you could look at the state doing what they doing and go, this just further show that the gang stuff and woo it didn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Man, why they won't get that man a bun? Because he might be a stone cold killer. And look what he charged with. And it just, you got people even saying that by them throwing this out, what that mean for Portland? Nothing. I didn't think about Portland at all when they did this. Simply because, like I said in my video yesterday, I already knew, like, man, ain't no way they just dropping this and this, man. They've been holding this man for 8 years. So if you think they just finna drop some shit like this and just give up like that and just fall weak like that, like, man, come on, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. There's so much I can say, but I'm gonna wrap it up right here, man. It's T-RaeTv. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. I appreciate all the love I've been getting, support. We almost at 1,500 subs, so if you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, I appreciate it. Before you leave, hit the like button, comment. T-RaeTv, y'all be blessed. I'm out.